Hi guys, your friend Gopika is here, and in today's video we will discuss few examples when we will be using the GST in trading chain. Okay, so there will be a trading chain as a question or an example, and there we have to find the GST payable or the CGST or SGST payable at different stages of the transaction. So without wasting time, let's get started with it. Okay, so the first example is, so first I'll start the pointer. Mr. Rohit is a retailer. He paid GST of rupees 6,500 at the time of purchase. Okay, he paid GST of rupees 6,500 at the time of purchase. He collected GST of rupees 8,000 at the time of sale. So from the description itself, now you know which is output tax and which is input tax. Next, find his input tax and output tax. That is the first question. The second question is, what is his input tax credit? And the third question is, find his payable GST. And fourth, hence find the payable CGST and payable SGST. So this is a very basic question we are going to solve, or we are discussing. Here, Mr. Rohit's payable GST means GST to be paid to the government by Mr. Rohit. Okay. First thing, output tax will be tax collected at the time of sale. So that is rupees 8,000. Next, input tax means tax paid at the time of purchase. So that is rupees 6,500. So the input tax credit will be 6,500. The input tax itself is input tax credit. Okay, because that will be reduced from the output tax, so that, or deducted from the output tax, so that we get how much amount Rohit has to pay to the government. So at the third step we will do that. GST payable is equal to output tax minus input tax credit, or ITC. So 8,000 minus 6,500 will be 1,500. So this is the amount he has to pay to the government. And finally, the fourth part of the question is payable CGST. Now whatever GST is, half of it will be CGST and half of it will be state GST. So central GST will be 1500 divided by 2, that is 750. Payable state GST is also 750. Okay. So only the term payable has come, but the relation between CGST, SGST and GST does not change. Okay. Whichever is the total GST payable, from that half will be payable central GST and half will be payable state GST. Okay, this is the second example. Here, J Chemicals purchased a liquid soap having taxable value of rupees 8,000 and sold it to the consumers for the taxable value of rupees 10,000. Okay, the rate of GST is 18%. Find the central GST and state GST payable by J Chemicals. So input tax is 18% of 8,000. Sorry. So here if you see purchased at 8,000. So input tax will be 18% of purchase price. That is 18 upon 100 into 8,000. That will be rupees 1,440. And next, output tax means tax collected while sale. So the selling price is 10,000. So you apply 18% on 10,000 to get the output tax. So that will be 1,800. Now the difference between input tax and output tax will be the GST payable. So GST payable is equal to output tax minus ITC, that is input tax credit. So 1,800 minus 1,440, and the difference is rupees 360. So the GST payable by J Chemicals to the government is rupees 360. Next part is central GST and state GST, which will be half of 360, that is rupees 180 and 180 in both. Okay. So that was very simple. Second example. Only thing is, to the purchase price, if you apply the percentage, you get the input tax. To the selling price, if you apply the percentage, you get the output tax. Okay. Now this is a similar, just like the previous example. The amount and the rate of GST is same, but there is slight or very important change. It's not a slight change, but it makes a, though the change seems to be small, but the solution or the after effect is not though. So J Chemicals purchased a liquid soap for rupees 8,000 with GST. Now whenever you have with GST written in the bracket, that means this 8,000 is not a taxable value. In 8,000 the tax is already included, and sold it to the consumers for rupees 10,000 Here also in this 10,000 also the tax is already included. Now rate of GST is 18%. Find the amount of central GST and state GST to be paid by J Chemicals. Okay, so in these amounts, in this purchase price and the selling price, already the tax amount is included. Okay, so we need to find what is that tax amount so that we can find the central GST and state GST. Now note that here the prices are including GST. That is total value with GST is equal to taxable value plus GST. So in taxable value, when you add GST, then we can call it as value with GST or total values. Here they have given the total values wherein the GST is already added. Now you need to find what is this GST's amount. Now if the taxable value of liquid soap is rupees 1000, then the total value is 118. Now the ratio of total value or taxable value is constant as the rate of GST is same. Okay, so the ratio total value upon taxable value will be constant since the rate of GST is same. Now for total value of 118, the taxable value is 100. So that is 100 upon 118. And suppose for 8000, the taxable value is X. So X upon 8000 is equal to 100 upon 118. So X will be 8000 upon 118 into 100. And that will be given as rupees 6,779. Okay, 0.66. So calculations you can perform. Now GST paid at the time of purchase will be, now from this total value, if you subtract this taxable value, you get the GST paid. So GST paid is rupees 1220.34 rupees. Okay, so input tax is equal to rupees 1220.34. Therefore input tax credit is equal to 1220.34. so input tax credit we found. Now similarly, if you do the calculations with the 10,000 part, that is with the selling price part, you will get the output tax. So for the total value of 10,000, let the taxable value be Y. So Y upon 10,000 is equal to 100 upon 118. So Y will be, this 10,000 will be multiplied to the numerator to the other side. So 10,000 into 100 divided by 118. Therefore Y will be rupees 8,474.58 rupees. So output tax collected is, from 10,000 you subtract the taxable value and the remaining amount is 1,525.42. So output tax also calculated. So next will be GST payable is equal to output tax minus input tax credit, that is 1525.42 minus 1220.34, and that is rupees 305.08. So payable GST is 3,500, sorry, not 3,500, 305.08, and payable CGST and payable SGST will be half of it, which is 152.54 rupees. So the J Chemicals has to pay rupees 152.54 CGST and 152.54 state GST. Okay, let's see the next example. Suppose a manufacturer sold a cycle for a taxable value of rupees 4,000 to the wholesaler. Wholesaler sold it to the retailer for 4,800. Retailer sold it to the customer for 5,200. The rate of GST is 12%. So we need to complete the following activity to find the payable central GST and payable state GST at each stage of trading. So in the first fill up we have manufacturer, next comes the wholesaler, and the third will be retailer, and finally it reaches the customer. Now first thing, output tax of manufacturer will be 12% of 4,000, and that will be rupees 480. Okay. Next things they have already given. GST payable by manufacturer will be directly, the 480 rupees will go to the government, and output tax of the wholesaler will be 12% of 4,800, and that is rupees 576. So GST payable by wholesaler is, for him the output tax is 570 and the input tax is 480. So 576 minus 480 is 96. Next, output tax of retailer is 12% of 5,200, and that is rupees 624. Now GST payable by retailer will be output tax of retailer minus input tax credit of retailer. So output tax we just calculated, that is 624, and input tax we calculated in the previous step, that was 576. The difference will be rupees 48. So GST payable by retailer is rupees 48. Now we can fill in this boxes to find what is central GST and what is state GST for different stages of the transaction. So the first thing, when GST payable is 480, 240 goes to central as central GST, and again 240 will be the state GST, that is for the manufacturer. Next, for the wholesaler, GST payable is 96, so half of it, which is 48, goes to central GST, and another half goes to the state GST, which is again rupees 48. Next, for retailer, the GST payable was 48, so the 48 will be divided into 2, and 24 and 24 will be state GST and 24 will be state central GST. So the total, if you add these costs, here you will have 624, here you have 312, and finally you have 312. So the total GST is 624, suppose, then half of it is central GST and half of it is state GST. So that's all for today's video. In the next video, I'll discuss the next practice at 4.2, wherein we will be using all these concepts. So take care.